and Real Athletico. The header, and that was a close call, saved by the keeper, Rafa Martins. And folks, there's something I just want to make sure that I let you all know of. Very important. The other day we were given a roster from Real Atletico with numbers on them. The numbers were unfortunately incorrect, and the case is still that way, that we do not have the correct roster numbers. Now, mistakes will happen when you have 48 teams with potentially 15 or so players. A screamer! What a goal from basically England. The Cherries score through bottom left corner. Then they lost to the Wrexham Red Dragons 6-2, and I know you folks in England are thinking, in what parallel universe? Opportunity gets scooted in. More on that one later as Dan Gosling punches the second goal of the game. Football and basketball. In fact, not very many players with soccer experience, at least not at a high level. There's a shot, and that nearly goes through. As Charlie Philpott has to extend himself. But this is a team of athletes. Real athletes is how they reference themselves as. And no question about it, there are some very athletic players that Real Atletico features. Jorge Solano, for example, nicknamed Bam, played college football at Fordham. He's also pro baseball with a team in Seattle called the Mariners. He was within that organization. So there are a bunch of athletes here that can compete. And look, there's players like Carlos Palacios that have competed in the USL. Kevin Naranjo played in the Major Arena Soccer League. But for the most part, football players, basketball players, and baseball players competing in their first ever TST. And just mentioning that, they have put on some performances, very respectable ones. There's shots made but saved by Rafa Martins. Attacking, Cherries recover. Gosling over to his left side. An attempt shot saved by Rafa Martins. He's going to be tested time and time again. Daniels, talk about a number of appearances, 244 with the Cherries. That one shit. Martins gets his hand on it. Can Real Atletico carve in, but saved by Philpott. On the run. Great defense by Real Atletico, tracking back. AFC Bournemouth speedingly was running on that counter. Real Atletico showing that real athleticism. That one goes across the length of the pitch. And for those at home wondering, 65 yards is the length. 45 yards the width. The goal, 6.5 feet tall, 18.5 feet wide. Size 5 miter ball. Miter, the official ball supplier of the TST. What does that acronym stand for, you're asking? The soccer tournament. It also stands for target score time, something we will be talking about when we come back into the second half, because that will apply in this game and every game for that matter. Shot just wide to the right, but a corner. And the official blows the whistle, indicating the fact that the first half is over in about 20 minutes of a running clock. So I'm going to explain that to you once, now, and then another time when we get into the target score time. So that is not new, but a nuanced thing to TST. That's how the games are won. Always going to be a game winner. So whatever the tally is for the leading team, you add the 1. So in this case, if this result holds, the target score will be 4, meaning that the Cherries will only need 1 goal to win. Real Atletico would need 4. Both teams will start 7v7. And then after 3 minutes, if nobody wins, then a player gets removed from each team. That shoulders in. Now a shot on target for Real Atletico, their third one of the day. So 7v7 will turn into 6v6, so on and so forth. The attempt by Pittman, or more so, I thought he was going to cross it into that left side of the post, but picked up, and we do have a change in between the pipes for Real Atletico. Rafa Martins, who started the game, is subbed off, and we have a new keeper. And so that's how the target score goes. Counter opportunity here. Shot and a goal! AFC Bournemouth for the 4th time today find the back of the net. And that goal comes courtesy of Junior Rosero. Actually, no, I think I just saw number 15, Sebastian Ruiz. Even from this, no, Junior Rosero, I believe, scored that goal. Either way, 4-0 is the score. Headed out. And yes, it was Rosero. I was just waiting for the confirmation. Even from my angle, the number 16 and the number 15 kind of looked fuzzy as we're about 20 or so yards from my line of sight. But now that does officially declare Rosero with his brace 4-0, which would mean if the result holds, the target score time would be 5. So solid start to begin the second half here. Will we see another one? Shot and another goal. The Cherries are on fire here to start the second half. They now lead Real Atletico by a score of 5-0. Players that have seen and done a lot of things. Shot saved by Philpott. So we're almost at that halfway point here in the second half when the score sits 5-0 in favor of the Cherries. That's going to stay on this end of the pitch. And target score 6. Can't say that it's impossible. People claim climbing Mount Everest was possible, but more than one individual did it. Nowadays, people travel over there with a Sherpa that takes them to the top of the mountain. So if hills like that can be climbed, certainly not out of the question for Real Atletico. But it won't be any easy. But could this be the first goal? Saved by Philpott. He gets his mittens right all over it, maintaining his clean sheet. Passed in on the left side, saved. Another opportunity and a goal. Fired into that left shelf. Rosero. Charlie Philpott advances it across the midfield. Ball is loose. Rosero is open on that far post. Shot saved. Another save. Trying to clear it up. Ball is loose. Recovered. Gosling. 2-on-1 shot. Score! Oh, I thought it was. From that angle, I thought he would have had it. And I didn't want to anticipate. And that's exactly what I did. I thought that was certainly going to be it. As Levi Pilar had the opportunity to strike lucky number 7. The header goes up. The header punched away. This keeper's being relentlessly tested. And another save. But the rebound is in. So lucky number 7 happens there. See a frustrated keeper there as he's making a lot of tremendous saves. He was kept busy. Saves of the games, getting his paws all over it. But unlucky in that sense as you see him pull the shirt above his head. 7-1 now the score. And the hits keep on coming. Tommy Elphick, the legendary Tommy Elphick. Shot. The second goal of the game for who I assume to be Escanio. 7-2 now. It's Daniels advancing it. Threaded through and in. Now, that wasn't necessarily a shot as that was intended to be a pass. One player that I saw rostered for Real Atletico that I don't see is Ciro Oliveira. There's a shot saved. That 2-on-1 was done fairly casually as Real Atletico's keeper has just made a lot of tremendous saves. This could have been far more lopsided than it already has been, but he's really kept them in. Another counter into Pittman. Pittman off of the back of number 23. pass in. Philpott right around midfield. Well, now definitely at midfield. Punches it through to Daniels. Daniels shot. He scores! Charlie Daniels finds the back of the net. Yet again for AFC Bournemouth, the Cherries on top. Charlie Daniels has looked rather impressive here. Who we haven't seen is Junior Stanislas. For those here in the United States that are unfamiliar with him, well, I already told you about him, but again, 336 games played professionally. Okay, now the official does blow the whistle, and now we officially head into target score time. So, 2-minute break. We'll begin with 7 players apiece. If nobody wins after 3 minutes, a player gets removed, we go to 6v6. If after 3 nothing happens there, we go to 5v5. Now the rain is picking up. Philpott, that's your Golden Fleece winner. Take a bow, Charlie Philpott, a goalkeeper goal, and that ends it here